close it out.
Well, let's hear from Winstrike real quick now, guys, and then we'll get back to breaking down the game. It's back with Jason Kaplan, and quick to see how these guys are feeling.
Thank you very much, guys. And if you were not downstairs here, I'm not sure if you can hear on the stream, but after that last round, the screams I heard was insane. First of all, quick, how does it feel to win like that in such a high-pressure situation?
It always feels good to win, and like it felt like the game doesn't gonna end for a long time, and we were just trying to, I don't know, calm ourselves down and just finish the game, but it didn't work round after round. So we just thought that we're gonna hype this up in the end and just do our thing, and it worked out, and it feels good.
It has to feel good. Again, you guys were celebrating like crazy, and now looking forward into tomorrow. You're playing against Avangard. Can you give me some quick thoughts into that, how that match is going to go? Is that the team you maybe wanted to meet, or was it Team Spirit?
Actually, we thought about that Avangard is going to beat Team Spirit, and we actually feel really confident playing against them. But right now it's going to be even harder because they're not going to like underestimate us again. So they're definitely going to prepare more, and it's going to be tough, but we expect to win.
Okay, and then last question here. Technically now you have 3 chances to qualify for the major. You can either win in first place, second place, third place from this tournament. You still have the last chance qualifier as well. Is that something that's on your mind, or are you just focused, win this game tomorrow and then just close it out, get ourselves in the major?
Yeah, actually, just winning the game tomorrow will be much better than just thinking about the third place and going to the minor re-qualifiers or something like that. So I guess we aim to win and just qualify today or tomorrow. Well, I mean tomorrow, and that's it.
Okay, quick, thank you very much, and congratulations once again on that victory. In the meantime, let's head back to Des to break down that crazy series.
Winstrike looking like they're happy with their decision of getting to go through, and also getting to face Avangard once again, right? So something to come out of it. But to continue what we were talking about there, Winstrike, they got it done in overtime. They're looking very convincing. But the fact that they took Avangard down already, now you've just taken down Gambit as well, this is looking like a pretty damn good run for them.
They've taken down the 2 predetermined favorites coming into the CIS minor. So yeah, you're right when you're saying that it looks good for them. That said, though, I think Avangard showed us a different level today. I think Avangard showed up, you know, to play the Counter-Strike that we know them to play. So I think Winstrike is going to have their hands full tomorrow when they do face Avangard. That said, though, I think it's going to be a great matchup as well. And I do believe this is a team, no matter how you're going to look at it now, it's them and Avangard who are the 2 favorites of proceeding directly into the major. Then we have the third team who's going to play the whole playoff thing with the other regions. But for now, I think these 2 teams that we actually have in the upper bracket finals are also the 2 best playing teams in the CIS minor so far. And it's a privilege to have it like that.
Yeah, you can't take it away from them, right? Like Winstrike and Avangard, completely agree with you, are the best 2 teams right now. But I don't think they should get ahead of themselves yet, because there is still a chance that they don't make it to the major. It's so close right now. They're going to face off against Avangard, and like you mentioned, like Quick mentioned right now, Avangard are going to be ready this time around. It was kind of an upset, let's be honest about it, and now Avangard are going to be. They were looking like business today, Avangard, correct? So tomorrow when they face off against them, if they win, great, they're through, right? And they also get a top seed. If they lose, they're going to have to face off against the winner of Gambit and Spirit, where I would give the edge to Gambit right now, but it's not over yet. There's still a lot to go, so I think they're going to go back, compose themselves, and go through it. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this matchup. It's going to be one hell of a game, because firstly, rematch, it's going to be mind games coming in. Again, the map selections and whatnot could make things very interesting. But one really cool thing about Winstrike I want to point out is, even when it seemed like they ran out of ideas, they were able to grind it out, and that's going to come in real handy when you're facing off against Avangard.
Now, so close, yet so far for Gambit. Dozy are having a pretty good performance that we haven't seen out of him, but it was Bondic that dropped off a lot this time, especially early on. What are we thinking now for them going into the lower bracket? Should it be an easier first game for them, give them a chance again to try and make that run back up that they love to do? They love to make things hard for themselves.
I mean, it seems to be a tendency that the Gambit loves to take it from behind in that regard. You know, they love
take it from behind, okay? Yep.
In that regard, you know, they like to play backs against the wall, so to speak. And I think they're better when they're doing that. So in that aspect, I wouldn't be too worried if I were Gambit. What we saw from Spirit today against Avangard was not necessarily pretty by any means. So if Gambit can just nut it up a little bit for tomorrow, I think they will be the favorites for that one as well.
Thank you very much, Pimp. You are brilliant at these wordplays. That is us done for the first day of playoffs here at the CIS Minor. We will be back tomorrow, and Europe will be coming up. But until then, we'll be going to a short break. But don't go anywhere, because Europe was crazy yesterday, and it's going to get even more crazy today. Oh, Pimp.
Welcome to the Acer Predator pre-show.
Traps have been set, visions have been tarnished, and Space Forces have been beaten here at the EU Minor thus far, and we're going to only be getting even deeper as we go into this bad boy. That's right, it's almost time for the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice Major 2019, but first we got to find out what teams we're going to be sitting there. My name is Trey Saranthus. I'll be picking up the reins here on the desk and hosting this one all the way into our best of threes today. I'm not going to be doing it alone. I do have my esteemed counterparts, the analytical crew, known as Natu and, well, Sponge.
Hi.
Sponge, I just didn't know if I couldn't see you, man.
I'm trying to really just blend in here with the backdrop, mate. So I don't know if my spotty shirt shows up on broadcast. I'll try and hide with the stars.
Yeah, you got that
one with the stars.
It's true. You got that one German line. I think it's pretty good.
Deine Augen sind wie Sterne?
Yeah, that one.
Your eyes like stars.
It's not bad, Chad. I think you've been practicing that one for a while. Sort of like the teams that we're going to be talking about, they've been practicing, getting ready, and ready even more so for the games at hand. It's getting ultra dicey for the teams that we have left. I can say at the very least, no one could have expected or forecasted how this one's gone down thus far. Sending home a Mouse Sports, sending home an Optic, the Space Soldiers. When to go, maybe yes. But at least in those three, I think everybody had high expectations.
Yeah, Optic and Mouse was always the biggest ones to not be a part of this tournament anymore. But if you look at this matchup, I think it's interesting. Like the setup for this one is that Vitality has looked like as one of the better teams in the tournament so far. North, on the other hand, they've kind of struggled, especially against Vindigo, obviously. But they are a tough team to play against just because of stylistically how they play Counter-Strike. So it can be a hard task to try and adapt to it.
It can be a hard task, but the big hard task that you might want to think of when you come into this tournament would be that of the brackets. Right off the get-go, we can begin to understand how Group A unfolded and how it all started to come together, and why some of these teams have had just a little bit harder time than others. Perhaps Group A will be where we start with the brackets, and we can begin to take a look at those.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we shouldn't be dwelling on the situation too much of Mousebots being out. There's lots of tweets and lots of news coming out and from their mouth that they didn't prep properly for this situation, which kind of sucks.
How dumb does this sound?
Well, let's worry about that at another day. I think what we should worry about right now, Trace, is the ramifications of these opening matchups, because the fact that ESL have been able to have the format changed in the minors, every game now really matters. If you're able to win this first opening bracket stage, you go through to the top 3, which means worst case scenario, you still play off in the last chance qualifier, which will be taking place on Sunday, the 27th of January. So every game really matters, right? So what's going to happen is if you win this one, you go through top 3, fantastic. If you lose, then it becomes very dire and you're fighting for your life. So I'm super excited to see how these ones go down, because we saw how much it just meant to the CIS teams playing. Winstrike were getting so loud, we could hear them from the green room, and they're bloody miles away. So
they're basically a whole other building away.
Yeah.
Multiple walls in between, but walls have never stopped anyone playing Counter-Strike ever in the history of any version of this game. They're not going to start now because we do have a pretty action-packed playoff here. We've gotten to the end of the road, basically, of this minor. And again, what Chad touched on with that sort of last chance qualifier, definitely a very interesting tidbit here. But as I promised, we do have the playoff brackets, not A or B. We're going to go straight to them playoffs. It's going to be Vitality in North and Ints and Valiance. Now, some might say it's easy for Ints, but this is where things start to turn up a little bit. They need to win this BO3, another BO3, and, well, what do you know, Chad?
Technically, it's only 4 maps of victory for either of these squads here on your screen to make it all the way to the major, right? So that's all you need to do is win 4 maps, and that doesn't sound that difficult in the realms, but if you actually look up these matchups specifically, the Vitality versus North one, even though North has all the experience, they have a lot more players who've been playing towards the top over the last 12 months, the difference is Vitality throughout the tournament look like they played better against structured teams as opposed to teams who were being scrimmy. So that's one of the positives they have going in this. Whereas Ents, they just have to be the favorite based on the fact that they have a lot of structure, but Valiants love the counter strat, and structure hates counter stratting because you can actually pick off players in their defaults, right? Tendencies can be exploited.
Yes, but we've seen instruments of that failing as well, too. I mean, we have seen some teams come in here and say, hey, we hard anti-stratted everybody. Sometimes it can turn away from your favor, but I believe you have a little insight on what the Ints camp is looking like, not to.
I mean, I think so far pretty solid, considering the fact that coming into this, you know, a couple guys being sick, I was personally a little bit worried how is that going to affect the way they play. But no, their preparation has been really, really good. I think they're going to each match. They're not underestimating anyone. They're looking through all the numbers, running all the odds basically, and trying to make the best educated guess into how the match will go and what are the best chances for them. And so far, what we've seen them play as well, it feels like they're really dialed in, and I'm just hoping that will continue in the playoffs.
Well, one team that has been dialed in the past, but they're trying to get that compass back on track would be that of North. We're going to take a more in-depth look of this team that is, well, they're having a tough time, but they're certainly on the path here to defend that Danish honor. Let's go ahead and take a look.
We have expectations. I think we're probably the pretty clear favorite, as you said, along with Mousesports, I would say. So we're definitely expecting to win our group and go through the minor. I wouldn't say we're afraid of anyone, but a lot of the teams are tough teams, and you're never to underrate anyone. So I think we're going to go in with a mindset of being favorites, but we can't underestimate anyone. So I think we're just going to take it one game at a time. Yeah, I think the three teams I would probably pick is ourselves, of course, and then Mousesports, and then I think it's going to be between Vitality and Optic for the third spot. And maybe an outside chance for ENCE as well.
And he says an outside chance, but what he didn't realize when he said all of that was that it's actually going to be Mousesports and Optic heading on outside of this venue because they're out. And that lets us continue down this path here, where we have seen this North lineup play against Windigo twice, and they have seen a little bit of resistance there, too. It hasn't been necessarily the easiest of showings. In fact, Windigo took a map off of them.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't think Valde should be taking any chances on trying to do predictions anymore. That didn't seem to pan out too well.
Oh, foot and mouth disease.
Look. While obviously that was done before the tournament happened, Valde.
It's live, Chad.
Here's the situation. You have the 5 best players right now in Denmark and Australis, and then you have Valde, and then you have everybody else. So regardless of maybe, you know, making a bit of a poor prediction there, which I also did, he has been a shining light for this North squad throughout this tournament so far. He's been a consistent factor. He is absolute class as a player, and if there's ever going to be a change in this Australis roster, which it shouldn't be happening anytime soon, Valde would be one of my guys I'd be putting up there first and foremost.
What if Australis got to that point where it's like, you know what, we've won so many times, we've won so much that we actually need to challenge ourselves more and go ahead and adjust this roster around. It's just too easy for these guys, right, Chad?
It'd be crazier than me if they decided to do that. But another interesting fun fact from Valde, he did an interview with HLTV.org yesterday, and the headline, which is all I read because I'm pretty ignorant, is it has shaken our confidence that we've lost to so many of these upset teams. Now, coming into this environment, that's always going to be the case, right? Because we painted North as one of the favorites, and you're going to have teams who are hungrier, who are, you know, counter-strating on a lot, and they're coming into this situation. That's their Super Bowl, whereas North is still getting invites to big tournaments, and we saw this same kind of mindset with Mousesports, obviously them dropping out. North can't do the same anymore, right? They really need to really kick it up a notch and show that class that we know that is there, that they haven't really shown since Cadian's joined the team.
Well, go ahead.
No, I mean, I just want to say, like, considering the fact that, yes, they struggled, North did struggle against Windigo, but I think that's a very, very different matchup than now what they're going to be heading against Vitality, where so far Vitality, with the little practice, has showcased that they played like a really slow pace, a methodical game of Counter-Strike, and it comes down to always Zybu is their exit plan, but also we have RPK, we have Apex, everyone's chimed in, and they seem to be doing really, really good mid-round decisions. So I think it's going to be a very different kind of a game for them. I think the North will be feeling much more comfortable playing against these players that are the kind of veteran-style players who play more like a standard kind of classic way of Counter-Strike. So I feel like in that sense, I feel more comfortable, you know, talking about North in this kind of matchup.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. But first, we're going to be cutting to a quick break before we jump into our first matchup here of the playoffs of the EU Minor, because we're going to have a little bit of North taking on Vitality. And I'm sure the Danes versus the French, you're all ready and rearing there in the chat and ready to get this one underway. But I got to take you to a break first. So we'll be right back with that first best of 3. Don't go anywhere.
All eyes are on you. So give them greatness with Intel Extreme Masters certified PCs and notebooks and game like the pros. When you see the unique IEM certified stickers on the outside, you'll find high-grade components with Intel Core i5 and i7 processors inside. Every purchase includes in-game content and supports the prize pool of Intel Extreme Masters. Game like a pro, because the world is watching.
Prepare for combat. Go forth and conquer. Vodafone presents the pre-match.
The time is vital, and so is that of this best of three. All the stars shining, and they might be heading north. They might be heading you right into this best of three, which is that of Vitality versus North. Right here in our playoffs at the EU Minor. Welcome back. We're going to be getting you right into this Vodafone pre-match, guys. I've got to tell you, this one is where things really start to heat up, start to turn the gas on, or as you would say, Chad, cooking with gas.
Yeah, and I think the fact is we've already had some very good games, some very competitive series, but now this is obviously the business, and we explained the ramifications earlier of what this means, and teams are going to be really glued on and focused to grab this one and guarantee themselves at least that third position. Getting into this matchup right away, we can touch on the fact that Valda and Zywoo are two of the highest rated players in the whole tournament going toe-to-toe right now.
Which is awesome to say and see at the same time, right? Because Zywoo being that young prospect, being this light of shining beacon coming straight from the French scene, definitely just fun to watch this guy kind of run around and shoot people, you know?
And Valda's not that old either, is he?
He's not that old.
So
he's not as shining as old Zywoo. And either way, we can take a look at these teams a little bit deeper. Let's go ahead and take a look on the stage and see exactly how these guys are formulating their game plans over there, putting it all together, putting 1 and 1 to make 2. But yeah, as you can see, RPK locked and loaded, ready to go. And this is going to be Team Vitality, Zywoo, RPK, Apex, Alex, and Mr. Natural Born Killer himself, Nathan Schmidt.
Yeah, like we established earlier, I mean, a lot of experience in this lineup, obviously. MBK, Apex, RPK, on their own right. They've just been and done everything basically in a game of Counter-Strike. Now, recently adding Alex into that lineup, they've said it themselves. He's adding like a different dynamic into this team. Maybe that's going to change their map a little bit because of his own preferences.
Yeah, they definitely mentioned that and alluded to the fact it allows them to play some different things to what they were when they had Happy on the squad. And that's going to be a very interesting one going up against North. Both these teams have relatively deep map pools, right? They're happy to play a broad spectrum of maps. And if you look at Vitality Online, they have a very high success rate on a lot of those. North here, historically a team who does like to play the old nuke. They are Danish. I think they'll have that open in the first phase of bans/vetoes to pick from. So that could be seen as a potential punish for these guys. But like you mentioned, Natsu, I think for North, this will suit them more. It's going to feel more like a comfort zone for them, going up against at least names that feel more familiar and less sporadic. So let's see if North can actually solidify themselves as the second best Danish team in Denmark. I guess that would be correct. Yeah, I need that last bit.
Like technically, geographically speaking,
yeah.
Like, I get what you're saying. Like, I totally understand that.
Second best Danish team in Denmark.
And hopefully we don't catch him eating this banana. Oh, we got him right there live and uncut. The man was caught eating the banana. You saw it, Twitch chat. You know, in some way, shape, or form, at least one of you clipped that. So we'll see where that ends up later.
I think a lot of clips happen. That's usually what happens.
It's weird like that. Yeah. Never really. But anyway, yes, we could begin to take a look at this matchup, and perhaps firepower is something we talked about a little bit between Valde and ZywOo. But I mean, what are some other key figures that are sticking out to you guys? Some other key players, or maybe some win conditions on either side that make sense here?
I think the fact that MBK and Old made Apex, they need to show the form of Old. Like RPK, I know that he can be an absolute rock. I just think that MBK now doing the in-game leadership, he's always been a supportive style player, but now he has a lot more on his plate, and they only had a limited amount of practice, so he needs to make sure he can keep everything together and allow... for me, it's Apex and ZywOo who are the two more starish players, at least the one's going to be initiating the duels and fights. So he needs to make sure that he can keep everybody on a level playing field, because this is still, for this team who has a lot of experience, one of their very few LAN performances with Alex on the roster.
Honestly, for me, in this Vitality lineup, Apex is a big, massive key factor for them, because I've criticized him before. He didn't like me for it, for a bit of inconsistency back in the day. And it's fair enough, considering the fact that when you're an entry fragger, it's a lot about your team and how they can set you up and everything, and how you're just put in the best possible situation, if you will. But then again, you do see situations, especially in like post plans and like mid rounds, where Apex might be able to get that one kill where he creates like a 3-on-2 advantage to his teammates. But then for a reason or another, he feels like it and he goes for another duel.
Bloodlusting.
Yeah, just drops down to like a CT spawn on Dust 2, for example, to go for that one more kill to seal the deal. Those are the things where you just don't necessarily have to do them. Just play it safe, play the numbers, and let the time run out, and so and so. So those are little things that I want to see from Apex. A slight bit of patience.
We're not quite to the apex and ready to get into the game itself, but we are ready to seal the deal on these vetoes. It's time to start talking about this best of 3 and what it means here in terms of map choices, because I think that this one's going to be one of those that comes down to, hey, who's going to get the maps they want and where they're starting.
So, like I said, I think that Nuke is going to be the pick of North here, and that means the CT side start is fantastic for Vitality, because the individual Brilliant should be able to shine through in that regard, just if they can deal with the, I guess, the rotations that North are going to try and force out of this team. Their pick of Dust 2, that appears to be a staple, but one that Nathan said that he didn't feel was super strong for them, but maybe seeing that as a weakness for North. And then the last map will be Mirage, which is where most of these series tend to be ending up. It seems like a very comfortable map for everybody right here, right now. Yep. Looking at this at face value, I don't see either team being too unhappy, because I mentioned the depth of their map pool so far.
Yeah, basically what happened, the North just decided to float Cash, which is a map that they don't really necessarily play all too much, because Vitality doesn't seemingly play it all too much either. Because the thing is that they ban Overpass. It's a map that it hasn't really worked for North of this tournament. They've had 2 losses against Windigo here, and it's a map where, well, obviously these numbers for Vitality are online numbers, and we can't really take 100% quantify them. But still, I feel like that could have been a weakness in the map pool, so that made sense. What is weird to me, though, picking Dust 2, in the sense that both teams have definitely showcased that they can both play it, so I would have seen that as a third map in the series.
You want to talk about quantifying, and we're going to expand your minds just a little bit. It's about time to get into this game, but I need to know where you guys stand, at least across the first map. So let's kind of lock that in real quick, and then we can really get this pistol round underway.
I don't want to sit here and say that I need to see what happens first to kind of gauge where they're at, but I think both of these teams coming into this have the potential to take this series 2-0. Yep. I have a good feeling about the French. I think they're a little bit hungrier than the Danes right now, so on map number 1, I'm still going to lean in their favor, even though it is North's pick.
I'm actually going to lean toward North. I feel like they have, like, it's been looking good for Vitality so far, but I feel like, you know, just the more time the North has had playing with this roster, and it's a matchup where it's more traditional type of Counter-Strike, I feel like they're going to be coming out ahead in this one. At least to start things off.
Well, dropping the nukes as you will, that's what we're going to be doing on the desk, because it's time to head on down to Nuketown. And I'm not talking about that other FPS. We're talking about real esports around here. It's time to get into the guys that are going to be walking you through the entirety of this day. It's going to be our commentators, and both Harry and Hugo. These guys have been ready ever since they came from that little island of the UK, and they're ready to take you into this action right about now.
You should come visit sometimes, Trace. It's a wonderful place. But yes, indeed, we're heading into the first game of the EU Minor today, North versus Vitality. I'm here alongside Harry. Harry, I've got to ask you straight off the bat, who are you seeing taking the series?
Well, for me, Hugo, I'm going to be looking towards Vitality, right? I'm a big believer in what this team could do. I think they've been looking good. Betway as well seems to be siding with me. You can see those odds down on your screen. They also seem to be edging this one in favour of the Frenchman. One thing I'm excited about is getting to see more from Alex since he's been added into this roster, of course, recently just replacing Happy. But let's get into this pissed around before we talk about that anymore. North going to be setting up over here towards outside. Valde does have that smoke and a flash, but they're not looking to give anything up. The only issue you're going to find is Alex and co, they've already pushed this B ramp, so they're going to have a very clear picture as to where North should be residing right now.
The outside wrap is going to help, as ZywOo's already in the yard playing very passive. No smoke for the cross. It went down in main, and North are trying to take over this A site from behind enemy lines. Kierby finding the first kill here for the Danes, and he does take control of the hell, but ZywOo is still in position, and they know it. Can't quite find the angle for now, but he's a little bit aware of the possibility. His team still do get themselves up into heaven. They climb out from the back of the yard, rather. AZ's now in position, able to drop down into that site, but the bomb's still not with them. It's still back in the yard. Vitality taking things slow, not aggressing here on the CT side, rather waiting to see where North push and where they commit, because B is still very much an option with these T's holding the yard, but ZywOo, he's just picked off Kierby. That's going to make things very difficult.
Oh, most certainly. And now, I mean, North kind of scrambling to regroup back up towards outside. AZ still up in the heavens, going to try and find something. He does spot at Apex here. ZywOo continuing to push on up, and Alex still in. Ooh, AZ, that's pretty keen. Can he do it again? No, he cannot. Alex is good for one. Going to go to get that trade now. Has support from ZywOo, and together they are going to go ahead and lock in at this pistol round for Vitality.
That could have gone very, very wrong for Vitality, though. I mean, the big reason they actually are able to get away with it is the ramp push. They get so much information off the back of that they know that North have full outside control. The smoke in main gives it away, and as a result, ZywOo, he doesn't challenge too heavily in the yard. He gets one pick, he backs off safely, and he gives North the control, and he gives them the space to play. But Vitality still picking things up on the pistol round, and North, they've gone for the force.
Yeah, they most certainly have. North going to be feeling a little bit spurred on. Going to try and get this buy-in early, and they throw all the smokes down towards outside. Pushing on up, Vitality don't actually have anybody here to keep an eye from Secret, but you do have a man spraying on through that smoke. Going to find a little bit of chip damage is ZywOo. MBK already rotating down into this B-bomb site. They would have heard that window break, so they have an idea as to where he is. And what light from beyond this window breaks for MBK? He's managed the first. Now North grinding to a halt. The presence of MBK with the MP9 have slowed them down. They haven't been able to deal with him, and Alex has this crossfire set up. Valde is going to go ahead and pick up the point man inside of the bomb site. Now MBK falls, so a 3-on-3 secured here for the Danes, and a chance to get that bomb down perhaps, but no, it's been dropped.
Oh, and so is RPK. There's a trade right back here for Cadium. With Apex tagged up, this is getting a little bit awkward for Vitality. The lucky part is they still have the bomb dropped, and North have yet to retrieve it. Cadium kind of come down from the A site and group up with his teammate to try and grab this package, and they can just dart back up to A. They know ZywOo was last seen on the ramp, so this site is free for North. The plant can come in, and they've got a gun on Cadium retrieved as well. So far, things are going swimmingly here for the Danes. But ZywOo, he's creeping up from the vent as well. No kit. So it has to be more aware of the time than ever, and there's no noise being made by North. He has no idea where these two Ts sit, so creepy coolly into the site. Got to hope that he catches one off guard, and there's the first, but flick background. He doesn't know Cadian's swiveled round the angle, and he's going to be able to peek wide as ZywOo gets close to the bomb. 3 kills from the in-game leader of North, and a bounce back on the force.
Yeah, very, very back and forth around there throughout. I mean, you know, you see when that push goes down towards the B-bomb site, they have that crossfire set up, if you recall, between MBK and Alex inside of that site. The issue is MBK gets brought down so low, and suddenly, you know, you have him trapped. The Molotov was down at ramp, so he couldn't fall back. Smokes were in as well, so suddenly that rotation through the ramp, I believe that was from Apex, couldn't come through in time. So now the force buy here for Vitality is they try and pull a North, try and win a force of their own. No presence over here at ramp, though, and that does mean that North, they're all over this B-bomb site.
Yeah, these reads from North have been very, very good so far. They've been able to take a lot of map control without necessarily taking early gunfights. Now they're in the B site, but they do lose the first man. A very heavy push down the secret stairs for Vitality, and if they can find a second here, that would really open up this site. The issue is, it's equal trades, and they're already disadvantaged in the weaponry. ZywOo needs to land a kill here, and he starts things off well. Still being pressured, though, and the reload has to come through. Valdi glocks him down. And that's going to be the round cleaned up by North. They do get it done down on that B site with another fast execute. And now Vitality not able to bounce back with the force buy. They're going to have to go for the standard eco.
Yeah, this round you're not really expecting too much from Vitality. They just have vanilla pistols for the most part. There's a bit of investment into PT-50s here and there, but there should just be a chance for North to keep things clean. And I'm kind of happy about that. Gives us a bit of time to speak more about this matchup and why it is so exciting. For me, I'm excited about this Vitality roster. I don't know if you caught that interview with MBK done by Striker. It's a fantastic interview. You should definitely go ahead and give it a read if you haven't. But in it, they break down the decision process to why they brought Alex in over Happy, his role within the team, and the whole aim of it is Alex is going to be managing two of the players over here on their CT side. He's looking primarily at keeping ZywOo and an Apex, I think it was, or maybe RPK and check. Yeah, ZywOo and RPK. So that's an interesting kind of take. MBK still taking the main lead, but now you have Alex. Obviously, he was IGLing back in LDLC, so kind of, not a similar role because he's not the overall IGL, but he is still managing players, and that there does give him a little bit more freedom. So maybe you're going to see an improvement in performance. We already see him in this round, finding that first kill. And now North, being a man down, they know that they have to be a little bit careful here because stranger things have happened. His vanilla pistols and PT-50s can still be deadly. So they're trying to take outside. Yerby's going to get tagged down through that smoke. So Vitality, there's a chance they can find something here. That time is going to be ticking down more and more. Pressure starts to fall onto North that much more as it does so, and AZ's even been dinked down by Alex there.
And they're not even splitting either, so Vitality are going to hear all of this. They know exactly where North are coming from, and look at how heavily they're stacked up on the bomb site as well. 3 players grouped up. They could line up, but North need to check the angle, and they don't. ZywOo finds 2, and AZ with a double trade back, but the time is still ticking. 13 seconds on the clock. MBK trying to delay them as much as he can, but ZywOo's also got to go down alongside him. North do recover, but by the skin of their teeth. To think that was a near full eco from Vitality, and they bring it down to a 2v2 with 10 seconds left. Definitely nerve-wracking for North, but a round is a round. And now we have a buy from Vitality with the AWP straight into the hands of ZywOo. And none of that yet for North to respond, so definitely losing some money in the previous round with so many casualties, but this is their chance to break Vitality once again and put them onto pistols.
Flash past MBK, and he's already up and past it, so that's not going to affect him right now. Outside, elsewhere, ZywOo shutting down Cadian. As he trumps the Danish AWPer there. And now for North, already being a man down, they're looking like they have their eyes set on this A bomb site, but with this hold from RPK and Apex, Gade is going to be hard stuck to find anything. They've gone by RPK as he just hides up on this angle. Gade in with the trade, but Apex, I was going to say, should have found 2, but AZ's actually keen to remove him, and this A-bomb site has come crumbling down around Vitality.
I think Apex maybe expected more players to come to the hut, so that's why he dropped off the top of the roof, not wanting to get shot from the back. Unfortunately, he will die in the process. AZ's still half HP though, and Vitality a man up on this retake. ZywOo still on the AWP, but the main smoke has just gone down, and Kiebi's picked another one up. He's going to be able to be a real nuisance here to Vitality, who can't find a clean line of sight. AZ's caught in the corner, and now Kiebi is the only question mark left up for North. Vitality realised, smoke in the hut, wall bang down, but it won't finish the kill, and Alex is just sticking this bomb. No kit at all for Vitality, but it's not proving to be an issue. Kiebi does not expect the full defuse, and Vitality will be able to get away with that. 3 players surviving for now. Make that just 2, but a round is taken from Vitality, and the AWP is still saved, which is pretty important considering we are going to have North coming back in with a buy.
Regardless of all that, though, the scary thing is here is ZywOo's already putting up some serious numbers early on. He doesn't even really play into that round all too much, aside from finding the first kill outside. I say all too much, right? He does take them out advantage early on. He deals with Cadian, denies them that entire outside portion of the map. You imagine if that had gone down a bit differently, maybe Cadian's allowed to come in through hut, maybe they're able to make a, or mini rather, from outside, wrap into that A-bomb site. Could have been a different round. So, but yeah, like I said, he's getting off to a good start. That's always a worrying sign of the times. You look at an AWPer like Cadian, and, you know, ZywOo, lot flashier. He's that high-flying, high-fragging, you know, lots of just ridiculous kind of nut stuff from him. Cadian's, you know, more kind of your consistent AWPer. He, kind of more passive in how he approaches the game. A lot more methodical. That's always what you and I attribute to him. Very calculated, you know, does like to be a little bit kind of air on the side of being more conservative, right?
Yeah. It's definitely important we have ZywOo on this AWP in the yard, because, I mean, we're only 5 rounds in, and we've seen a lot of attempts from North to wrap this heaven position and get down into secret. Obviously, yard is a huge point of contention on this map. So having your best player there for Vitality is definitely going to be great to hold that off. But for now, it's looking like a lobby cruncher. Quick A execute for North. We've got Cadian in the yard, so he's going to be coming in likely on that main split later on in the round, or at least creating a distraction for now. Already a lot of nades going through, and Vitality, no line of sight, no information, but they will work it out pretty quickly with this A rush. RPK's already found the first. The bomb's been dropped down into the open. It's a clean house for RPK. Empty A site as he finds 3. And Cadian, he wanted to come in from the main ramp, but his entire team have been killed.
Yeah, I mean, he's lost absolutely everyone. There should be no hope here for Cadian in this one. That bomb's down in the middle of the bomb site. Yeah, I mean, he's just hoping at this point maybe someone goes meandering into his crosshair, maybe someone walks his way. But you can't imagine Vitality are keen on giving anything up here, as they are looking to equalize this out, and they know the importance of this because there's no money left for North in the next round. So this is going to be their chance to try and springboard themselves up and in it to the lead. Cadian just tucked away. And yeah, I mean, he's just, you know, I'm curious if he's going to try and hold on to this. I think they're onto a, would it be double eco anyway?
I mean, this is a second loss in a row, so they've still got an eco one.
Yeah. He can maybe go for the save, but now he's going to try and push on in.
He may as well die, because he's getting 1900. He'll be able to buy in 2 rounds' time.
Can you do anything? No.
as
I like to believe.
Yeah.
I didn't believe in the 1v4, but, you know, maybe like 1 kill here and there.
Dear. Oh well, it's only an eco here for North. It's Vitality equaling the scoreline, and we'll be able to likely get ahead with 1 more. As North have very, very minimal money. I mean, 2,000 to 3,000 per player. You can get a couple of pistols, but nothing really too interesting. This is a round where, you know, going for a wall of smokes outside or a vent dive with that bomb, try something a little bit cheesy. Even a ramp rush would be nice to see from North. I'm doubtful they'll go back towards A after that massacre from RPK at the back of the site in the previous. And it seems like North, eyes trained towards ramp, a single flashbang on Valdi to get them round this corner. And MBK on the other side, he can call for quick reinforcements because ZywOo has been playing that heaven position, so very easy to rotate back down round. And Alex is actually already moving in to give MBK a bit of support. Lots of nades on Alex as well, but MBK spotted at least 3 players there, so Alex has to be careful. MBK's falling back, Alex re-peeking off of the contact, and it's trades back and forth here for Vitality, doing very well. Only a single casualty, and that will be it. It's almost flawless for the French, and North now coming in with a buy.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'm already liking to see from this Vitality squad is, and this does link in, like I say, to that interview, is, you know, Alex, you notice, you see him kind of hanging around ZywOo a lot. He's there to create space, to try and create these opportunities for him. Didn't really get to see it in that round, but you'll note they kind of play that buddy system, right? And I think that's working well for Vitality right now. You know, ZywOo and Alex are both putting up very decent numbers, and they're finding themselves in positions where, yeah, almost single-handed, these two have been able to shut down rounds. This time ZywOo's tagged up outside, so that initial peak doesn't exactly go in his favor.
Oh, that double scope could come back to haunt him. There's a player on the left side of Squeaky already, and ZywOo's not aware of it. Luckily enough, it will be spotted. There's the trade attempted, but it's going to be missed from ZywOo. Uncharacteristic of him, but the second time is not. Quick shot to Valdi, and he still has AZ cornered here in Squeaky. The flash is through. It's actually a smoke, rather. And a bit of a tag, but, I mean, minimal damage through that red box. AZ will get through scot-free, and Vitality, they brought it back to a 4-on-4, but that's only going to favour North. More of the map that these CTs cannot cover, and so Kiebi attempts to abuse that by rushing the yard. He may even catch out Alex.
Alex will go undetected for the time being, but Kiebi likewise now deep behind enemy lines. And he does see Alex, he sees him indeed, and that there is outside control lost. On the outside at the very least. Now they do know there's a man at this portion of the map, but no, RPK maybe not communicate, maybe didn't know where he died from over on the side of Alex. But that's a free kill for Kierby, and this is the round locked in for Vitality. MBK and ZywOo left standing, and as talented as ZywOo has been, as good as he's been, this feels like it should be an impossible 1v4. He's already looking to try and back off and save.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate there. It was a purely case of a timing. Alex was holding on to the close main cross, knowing that North had been constantly going towards his held position, but Kierby came from on top of main and was able to wrap all the way towards the CT spawn. So Alex not being aware of that, and Kierby finding 4 kills actually at the end of the round, taking down ZywOo on the save, and even picking up the AWP for Cadian. So huge round from Kierby. Exactly what North needed to drag them forward to stop Vitality from getting out of control on the CT side. Remember, this is North's map pick as well, so you can assume they're going to be well prepared coming into the T side of Nuke, a half that many teams find difficult to play. And now we're going to have that AWP v AWP battle, Harry. The first time Cadian's going to be donning that here on the T side. ZywOo's still able to buy it back up, but he's straight in towards the yard, aware that Cadian's going to have his own AWP, so keep an eye out for that. Alex as well, he's even pushed up.
And North do have Cadian watching back, but yeah, I mean, Alex doesn't go any further forward than that. Kierby just drops down into his crosshair. That's the kill that Alex wanted. That's the man advantage secured for Vitality. Now they can just look to go ahead and back off outside, play a bit more passively and defensively inside these bomb sites. Wait for North to bring the fight to them, because now it is the Danes under pressure. They're the ones trying to make up for something in this round.
You see Vitality have no information. They're constantly checking back towards main and heaven, and that's because Alex dropped down vents after the first pick and has wrapped the secret stairs. He's not challenging the yard. And right now, while there's no one in the yard for North, Vitality don't know that. They may be scared of a potential split that's not coming through. North is still stacked in the lobby, and I think this looks like another fast A play.
Oh, it certainly does. RPK and Apex, they've been doing a decent job at holding down this portion of the map, but they're going to have to do it once again. This time they do have the youngster ZywOo up in the heavens to help out. That one kill has sent the bomb back towards ramp. Cadian maybe gets a little bit overzealous trying to sell this fake. Gade and Valda just meandering into their deaths over at ramp. Vitality back in the lead, and once again for North, similar sort of situation they've been in for a while now. The money has all but ran out over here on the T side.
Yeah, that definitely didn't look like the game plan from North. I don't think they wanted to back off ramp, but after losing that first man and throwing all their utility out on A, they just had to chance it and run out, hoping that there was no one holding down that position. Unfortunately for them, the AUG reigns supreme, and North are going to call out their second tactical pause. Vitality now leading 5-4 here on the CT side, and a strong start again for ZywOo and Alex, as you just mentioned a couple of rounds ago. ZywOo's sitting 13-4 right now. He is the 4th highest rated player so far of the EU minor, just sitting behind Valde, as Chad mentioned on the desk. So maybe he wants to move himself one rung up in that ladder. This game may be able to do exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. You know, everyone's really behind ZywOo. That sort of thing. Everyone's been behind him for so long. It was so exciting when he joined this team, Vitality. You and I obviously got to cast him back in Atlanta, I think it was. That was where they picked up the victory. And that was such like an emotional thing for him. You know, like one of the first, I think it actually was his first, yeah, it was his first LAN event with the team. Yep. Shows up, and they actually win it. Now, here in the minors, you know, just a few months on from Atlanta, they find themselves in the playoffs. They find themselves in the lead over North here, 5-4, and it is on the back of ZywOo right now. ZywOo and Alex doing a fantastic job. I say right now, throughout the entire minor, it's been really on the back of ZywOo.
And being real, Vitality now, at least on paper, are the best, or one of the best teams in terms of making it to the major rather, because Optic and Mousesports have been eliminated, and if Vitality were to pick up this win, then that's them proven over North as well. So they are in a very strong position. They don't have the likes of Mousesports to fight back, which could be a bit of a terrifying prospect, but there's definitely still some talent left in this region. RPK deep into the lobby, going to get the first kill of the round, and Gabe's already been picked up. North, in the meantime, they're heavy in the yard. Gabe was the only lobby protector, so Alex, he's going to have to deal with this again, with a different position. They won't expect it. ZywOo moves in off the contact, and this buddy system that you talked about, Harry, is so damn good. ZywOo with 2, Alex finds the 3rd, and Valdi, he's a long way from home.
Yeah, he's a very, very long way from home. is Valder. This bomb as well dropped towards outside. A 1v5 required, as good as he's been. This just really doesn't feel likely. Apex holding down this angle. Even if he doesn't find it, they get the information where Valder is. And yeah, I was going to say, there's no way he doesn't get away without getting tagged. He's brought down to 2 HP, and he's just got to back off. Vitality going to be picking themselves up a 6th round as they continue to dominate. And yeah, I mean, you pointed it out, that little buddy system towards outside. ZywOo and Alex just decimating North as they try and make that play once again in towards hell, in towards heaven. Because you think about how North have been playing, and that's why they found the majority of their success, heading towards outside, being able to get so deep behind enemy lines, finding those kills on those flanks, in through hell, up into heaven, etc. You think about RPK just a couple of rounds ago. Not RPK, Kirby rather. Yeah. Finding that frag onto RPK a couple of rounds ago, and that was what opened up that round.
And that's why it's really nice to see Vitality constantly switch up the CT side play out in the yard. You know, not having just ZywOo sat up in garage every single round. They're going for secret wraps, they're going for pushes deep into the yard, they're going for passive heaven plays where they just give North the control. North are constantly guessing. They never seem to know exactly where Vitality is set up, and now they're just down to pistols.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one of the things that's always been a focus in these French teams, and, you know, with the likes of MBK, is getting, you know, trust in their system. That's always kind of been a bit of a problem, right? French is kind of renowned for having, like, personal problems with one another, not having the faith in each other. You can see here, the thing that I'm liking about them already looking to try and build up this synergy between ZywOo and Alex is it shows you they're trying to build up that confidence in one another. They're trying to get the trust in each other between these two, you know, new guys within the team as well. You join them up alongside Apex as the kind of third man who plays into that sometimes. And I also like it because, you know, they've already said on the T side, Alex mostly going to be slotting into Happy's positions. Here on the CT side, the fact they're allowing him to play with ZywOo does kind of mean they're letting them create their own space, right? Maybe they're giving him a bit more room. This push towards outside should just get shut down. Apex making a nice bit of money there. He's going to be happy with that. It's a clean sweep for Vitality in that one. But a buy is at least back on the horizon for this North squad.
Yeah, but no AWP this time. They're not going to have the money for that. The only time we've seen them even pull it out was them being able to pick it up off of a body. So Cadian's going to be relegated down to the UMP to allow him to get full utility here and to save a little bit of money to note. Definitely does want that AWP in the future. You can tell he had the money for the AK and full nades, but not wanting to pull that out just yet. 7-4 here for Vitality. Whatever North have got in the strat book, they need to pull it out now because things are starting to get a little bit hairy here on the T side. ZywOo now has crossed himself into the secret, and Alex is playing close yard as well. Smoke going to be landing, and Alex is backing off straight away. So North are establishing a lot of control, a lot of dominance towards this yard, but ZywOo is here to try and shut it down. First kill already connecting. North, they've got to be so careful here. The Molotov to try and keep him back. Alex is watching for any potential main split alongside Apex, and he might even be flashing ZywOo out post Molotov here to go for the frag. There's the flash. They're close though, and North are splitting in through main. They're going all in to their death. Vitality, blink and you miss it. 4 kills in 4 seconds. It's an 8th round taken.
Yeah, I mean, the harsh thing is here for North, right? When you run into these situations, one of the reasons why maybe it feels like we're kind of you know, really bigging up Vitality is A, you know, they're sitting up 8-4. There's a lot of interesting stuff to speak about in this roster. But also for North, the issue they're having is, you know, the success that they were having towards outside where they were able to find these couple of rounds. In the last few, they've just been running into a brick wall there, right? And nothing else has really been working for them. If you think about the other rounds where they've tried hitting ramp, MBK's been doing a good job of holding down that position. When they try and hit that inner bomb site, RPK, Apex, they've been holding down their corner of the map as well. And this is where, you know, a map like Nuke can become so heartbreaking because you just feel like you are running into that wall. How do you get past it? This round, they're going to try and throw down a wall of their own, this time a bit more literal, perhaps. A wall of smokes here outside. But Alex has already rotated down toward this B bomb site. This time, though, at least North can say they've got a bit of real estate down here towards this portion of the map.
And this is so important as well. They can do so many things with this. It's easy to wrap back up through the vents to A if they wanted to go for a late round A split. You can, you know, move out into the yard. Vitality have now mostly given up and maybe even take heaven or hell control. And the best part is, with the wall of smokes, Vitality have no idea how many North players have pushed down to B. It could even be a fake. There could be 0 players. You don't know. And so it's very common that once players are spotted here, we may see Vitality get a bit of aggression in lobby or ramp to try and counteract that, try and work out if North are holding on to the exterior of the A site. But right now it's 5 players down in these lower halls. Alex and Apex Waiting on the other side, the nade is set up for the contact. Alex gets it, the nade will land in there, and that's going to dunk. Nice damage found. This softens up everyone, but Apex and Alex get domed.
Yeah, they do indeed. Now this B-bomb site becomes a real issue. ZywOo is on the ramp, and well, he is quite the force to be reckoned with. They've actually backed away. They've read this as maybe being the fake, and now they realize they've brained themselves. NBK able to drop the bomb. There's only 10 seconds. The North, you have to go ahead and grab it. ZywOo's gone ahead and shut down Kjaerbye. Cadian trying to pick up the bomb, but ZywOo peeks out with the org, and while Valde does pick up the kill, there's no time for the bomb plant. Vitality picking up a 9th round. ZywOo, fantastic stuff. Takes the first shot with the AWP, throws down that, picks up the org, re-peeks her on the right, and is able to shut down Cadian as he tries to plant the bomb.
I'm not sure if that was on purpose, but we had 4 players alive for North, 3 of them rushing decon, and 1 with the bomb coming out of the double doors on his own. If you have the bomb with the decon players, if one of them dies, another player picks it back up, but instead, it comes out the door, it gets dropped, it's too far away for North to retrieve, and that's a huge mistake. It's going to cost them a bomb plant and a potential round, especially when those 2 CTs look to rotate off. One's expecting it wasn't B.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue was there as well. Once you get a player down towards those double doors, hang on a minute, we'll hold that thought, because AZ, look at him go. He's already down in B. My goodness, blistering pace on this man. He's got his running shoes on, his jogging bottoms, and he's set up. Bomb's already heading down towards outside in Apex. I'm not sure he's going to be ready for this man here. ZywOo through the smoke, okay. I was wondering how that happened. And yeah, they don't know AZ's here, I don't think. Although he broke the vent, so surely they must be aware. And yeah, they are indeed. They managed to deal with the man inside of the bomb site, but the relief effort is here. The cavalry starting to arrive, and Alex is in with a second.
Yeah, North have double back though. They've already started to move up towards A. Kjaerbye lurking in through the main. RPK's still here on the site, and he's actually going to be able to cross before this main player even spots him, so a really good position. If he can get inside of the hut, North might not be ready for him. They're still unaware, checking all their angles. The smoke will give it, make it at least fairly obvious, and at least Valde's somewhat aware of the possibility that Vitality could be in the lobby. They're wrapping Squeaky where Kjaerbye sits. At least ZywOo is. RPK ready to move back into this hut, and Valde, timing, he's got his back turn, he's going to run right into it. Seemed like he wasn't convinced after all. RPK going to take him down, and Kjaerbye needs a huge clutch to save the day, but only 1 kill is mustered. North really need to catch up here, as it's going to be 10 rounds to Vitality on the CT side and 1 more left for the half.
Yeah, 10-4 now, last round of the first half coming on up, and Cadian will have enough money to be donning that AWP. Haven't exactly seen too much from him towards outside. Maybe this is the round we see him switch it up, take that towards ramp, try and see if he can challenge there. Really the only other position on this map where you're really going to get much usage out of it. And that does look to be the case. He's going to start to head towards this portion of the map, going to look to try and go toe-to-toe with NBK. No, instead, fast squeaky peek. Gonna get burnt down just to 50 HP in that Molotov already. So I'm even gonna throw down that Molotov, and I think that actually blocks the wall of smokes. That's the idea. Leaves a pretty big gap for Kjaerbye to try and have to work with. ZywOo's given himself a shooting gallery there. NBK in the meantime is dealing with this ramp push. He's able to pick up the first man. More players coming his way, but they all line up for NBK as he shuts down absolutely everybody. Suddenly only Kjaerbye left standing, and this round's looking like it's going to draw to a close. Very, very dominant in favor of the Frenchman.
Unbelievable start from Vitality. 11 rounds on the half, and North not even getting a single bit of chance into that last round. No flashbang to NBK, but that'll be a dominant CT side for Vitality. We're going to see if they have the tricks up their sleeves. If you want more French frags or Danish destruction, tune in after the break.
A downright stellar half here from Vitality over on their CT side, currently sitting 11-4 up on the map pick of North. And while it has been a tremendous start from Ziwu, whatever his name might be, all North know is that he's tearing them apart right now.
He's 22-6, Harry, after 15 rounds. 22-6. Unreal. Let's see if this can continue, or if North do have something to show us here on their CT side. The defense of these Danes. Apex already in the yard to start things off. He's got all the utility really for the team that's left, so very important that he doesn't die here. Vitality stacked up outside of the ramp. Apex is given a lot of room to work, but if he goes down, then it's going to be a bit of a problem. The smoke is there, the flash over the top, but hey, he's going to still fall to Kiebi. This is where the real push comes in. The four-man split down through ramp from Vitality. There's a single player here, and Valdi will be able to get a 1-for-1. Considering Kiebi opened up, North still do retain a man advantage.
Valessa does a good job, though, to get one in that situation. So many players coming his way, and now the pressure falls to AZ at this B bomb site. Instead, though, he's trumped immediately. Gade is at least able to pull things back in favor of the Danes, but elsewhere, RPK lighting them up and teaming up now with MBK as well. Blink of an eye, Kiebi left in this 1v2, and he's been the king of these almost clutches for North. Always getting it down to the wire. This time we need to see him complete one.
Yeah, otherwise it's a very real chance North are going to be losing their map pick without too much of a fight back. Vitality now have this bomb down, but they're only faking it for the time being. Kiebi's going to hear that, and so he wants to rotate fast down towards B. This gives ample time for RPK to get that bomb down, and he has the crossfire established with MBK. Kiebi, still not convinced, finally going to realize it is that B site. Now he's got to move in, but he's got to look to his left as well. MBK's playing contact, that's a nice dink, and Vitality double peeking him or doing their best to try. RPK puts Kiebi to 11 points of health, and right now, Vitality, they're just looking so damn good. These trades have been fantastic, and it seems like whenever a Vitality player doesn't get an immediate kill on a player, if they only get a chunk of damage like there for MBK, there's always a teammate to re-peek and assist them. These guys very much on the same page. 12 rounds now as Kiebi runs for the hills. He's dinked, he's not getting anything into this round, and Vitality, they are bordering a victory before North have even started.
And that's terrifying, because this is North's map pick, right? Yeah. This is famously the map of the Danes. You know, Danes love this map, Hugo. Nuke is their bread and butter. For North as well, they're kind of no strangers to that fact. This is a map that usually they have a pretty good kind of time on, whereas right now, Vitality throwing all that into question. That is one of the issues. I mean, you think about it, right? You think about the amount of times that Vitality, not Vitality, so North, as we kind of said, the main way they were finding success was over towards the outside portion of the map, and that was where Ziwu found himself most of the time, and he's sitting top of the board with what? I think 23 kills at this point in time, yeah. So he's going to be feeling happy that they kept on walking into his crosshair towards that portion of the map. In this one, it's the force buy from North. You understand why they've gone for it. Chance they pick up this round. They did in the first half, if you recall. They were able to go blow for blow on their force buy in the second round. And then if they don't, into round number 4, they're going to be able to go ahead and get the AWP on KD, and they're going to have all the utility that they need. So they do have a lot to work with in the rounds to come. The only issue is, obviously, you have to go into the next. And that does mean Vitality are going to be up 14-4 if they win this round.
With a heavy ramp stack, 2 players here, and Valdi playing the corner. The issue is not a great position for more than one. His teammates been dropped as well, but Valdi's going to be able to find a double with the UMP. Great work. Issue is, it's still the trade, it's still Vitality pushing the yard in the meantime as North are drawn away from the outside portion of the map. MBK holding on to the lobby flank, but instead it's a flank up from ramp. It's Kiebi pushing forward. He gets the kill, so Vitality now losing that man advantage. If they can try and trade things up, they can open up the B site and get a plant. So Apex does exactly that. Kiebi, the only man to try and stop this, but a whiffed spray might cost them a lot more than they can handle. 20 seconds here as this plant needs to come through, and Ziwu will be punching in the digits.
And while he's punching in the digits, Apex is pushed on up toward the ramp. The only issue is Gade is over here in decon, and he might be able to spot Apex as he goes through. Flash is there, but Gade's called it. Kiebi wise to that flash, and now Ziwu his position, knowing he is the footsteps down beneath him, and North, they managed to win this force buy once again.
Yeah, that was so important as well, right? We needed them to win that round. A good patience from Kiebi. He may have missed those opening shots when Vitality were coming out onto the B site, but he was very ready to see I can't remember who it was on ramp, but I think it was Apex getting aggressive with that P250. The flash comes through the smoke, and Kiebi instantly trained on it. So very aware that Vitality wanted to force those early fights. And North up to 5 here on the CT side. It's definitely not over, but it is a long road to recovery here for the CTs. At least for now, Vitality are going to be buying up. It's looking like a traditional French buy, but at least it's justifiable in this situation. They obviously did get that bomb down, so just going for an early force, trying to catch North off guard, stop them from building money and building a bit of momentum into the CT half, which is so common to see on Nuke. So let's see what these pistols can do.
Well, they get very, very fortunate there is Kiebi just draws an outline around those players in the smoke, missing his attempted spray. AZ now waiting down here. Oh, he's going to get chunked down by that nade, and that actually makes him quite vulnerable to these pistols now. Now suddenly one shot to the head, and you've dealt with this man on the staircase. You've got yourself an M4 to work with. They can make him very claustrophobic with this Molotov as well, and that's what they're going to try and do. He does manage to get out of dodge just in the nick of time. If he'd moved a second earlier, he has to go ahead and either run through that Molotov or try and take this fight, and he sticks around. Ooh, he's going to manage all three, and AZ on the back of that. This should be a 6th round for North that really wasn't looking like he should have stayed alive there. Definitely overstaying his welcome. NBK in the meantime mopping up Cadian over here at ramp, and it leaves him and Alex in this 2v4.
Alex, element of surprise here. AZ knows the bomb's still in position, but Alex is going to creep up close, the headshot angle. AZ still hits a shot. I have no idea how he gets away with 3 kills after shooting early and giving away his position once Vitality flashed the corner. It's very difficult as a T to flash up those stairs. If AZ's in that position, I mean, he wasn't blinded at all by the utility of Vitality, because of course he was above the angle that the flashbang popped on the floor. So North, again, dealing with the pistols of Vitality up to 6 rounds. And now going to have only pistols once more, but this time it's no real investments, no armor, no nades, only P250s and Glock. So 7 rounds is very likely here for these CTs. Vitality a bit of a cheese round ahead of them, maybe a vent dive, maybe a fast ramp play, but you can't expect too much from this. They will go towards a yard. Questionable decision considering they don't have any utility, and that nade's already going to be chunking down ZywOo to 16 points of health. Kiebi not scared with giving them a bit of control and allowing them to cross during the time that he is watching Silo, because, again, it is only pistols. How much can Vitality really do in this situation?
No, I mean, you're really not expecting all too much of them. The main bread and butter of it is going to be in the following round, when they do get that buy. Maybe they can find something, though. I mean, they have tagged down Kiebi towards outside here, so trying to chip away a little bit, but Cadian's there with a crossfire set up with him. Shouldn't be too easy to pick up Kiebi, that being the case, especially not with AZ as well being down beneath MBK here. They do have that trifecta outside, keeping watch of Kiebi, and it is still going to be him to find the kill. And yeah, now just Vitality meandering on in toward this B-bomb site. They all get mopped up. North in with a 7th round, and they are over on that CT side, so they're able to go ahead and win that force buy. That's now allowed them to build back into this game, and now they're at a point where, realistically, this is still very much anyone's game.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, we haven't really seen these buy rounds from Vitality yet. Obviously, we had that 2nd round where they had, you know, rifles with SMGs, but North upset them with a force buy. So it's, you know, it's still up for question how much Vitality have on this T side. But at least on those CT side setups, they looked very prepared, very aware of what North were going to try and pull. So I'm excited to see what this terrorist half is going to look like. About it. Deep in through the smoke. Flashbang is great, and he's going to be able to get a kill to RBK, but look at the trade. Instantaneous from Alex on the other side. Vitality do recover. Kiebi has a great angle to catch Apex moving through the smoke if he moves towards main, so Apex has to be extremely cautious. And he will be, backing off for now. Cadian even moving up on the ramp to make sure that there's no one coming here for Vitality, an attempted B-split potentially, because if you do look at North, with a man down, they have no information on the yard. They don't know if Vitality have snuck across and gone down towards that B site, so it's important Cadian denies any chance of this split. In fact, with the flashes going over, Vitality do want to challenge this position. Triple smoke setup, very nice utility. Cuts off the line of sight for North. And does open up B as a possibility here for the French.
Kiebi hasn't heard anything at this point in time either. It's a Cadian. Just biding his time, and that's actually going to make things that much trickier now for North. They've just lost AZ up here on the A-bomb site. That's going to stretch their resources very, very thin. Cadian down here, you can see Kiebi. I think he's pushing down through Secret right now. That could net them the information as to these players' whereabouts. Cadian falling and Kiebi on this late flank in. Maybe can mop up Apex, but that doesn't matter. The bomb hasn't even rotated down yet. It's still up at this A-bomb site, and now they know only Gade is here, so they're going to go pushing on in. There can only be one man here at most. They have a lot of angles to check, and Alex is going to fall short. NBK a little too far away to get the trade, and that means Gade going to go ahead and farm up an 8th round for North.
Yeah, big confidence boosting around for Gade. That's what we like to see. He was sitting on 5 kills prior to that, so definitely having a bit of a rough time. But there was at one point that he looked like he was going to push into the hut, and that could have ended in his demise. Luckily enough, sticking to his gun, staying on that A site, and Vitality do rotate up in the last few seconds to their own demise. So 12 to 8. And North are definitely making this look realistic now, so do not count them out. It's their map pick. It's the CT side of Nuke. Anything is possible, even with Vitality having a dominant first half. For now, just pistols. AZ already opening up into the squeaky door. That's the bomb dropped early on. And here's the split. Apex catches a kill. AZ is going to go down as well. These are guns being gifted over to Vitality. It's very risky, and Cadian hits a crucial shot, shutting down ZywOo on that flank.
Oh, but Alex there, he just manages to elude the man up in heaven and sneak down in through the vents. RPK trying to do the same. He falls, but the bomb goes with it. And I'm not entirely sure they did catch Alex just over the corner of that smoke, so I think right now his position down here is an unknown factor. The only issue is, because they gave up outside, they're already expecting that maybe someone could have gone for a quick wrap in through Secret. Alex now emerging, and 2 players here to keep an eye on it. Even Apex in this 1-on-3. Only 13 HP to his name, no bomb in sight. It is down at the bottom of those vents, so maybe there's a chance he can grab it. The issue is he's got to open these doors. Second he does, they know where he is. Valdez here. And will be able to secure a 9th round now for North. And this is where things get a little bit worrying. Vitality, what was once a massive lead, right? They come into the second half 11-4. They win the pistol, they get off to a good start. North in with the return, if you recall, winning that second force buy, and since then, it has all been coming up in favor of the Danes.
Yeah, this is starting to look a little bit dangerous for Vitality. We do have another buy round coming up with that AWP, and that's something that we've been waiting to see on this T side. ZywOo, obviously the hard carry of the CT side being real. He ended the half with 26 kills, so you know, having him on this AWP on the T side, trying to find these openers is going to be good. But in the same way that we saw Vitality CT side not give AWPers any picks in the yard, I can imagine North have a very similar setup. I can imagine they're not going to be challenging ZywOo down in the outside, playing passive towards the back of garage, or even just holding on to the back of CT spawn. See more and more teams relinquish the idea of actually fighting T's pushing outside. 12-9 here for Vitality. Still the AK on ZywOo, still hesitant to pull in that AWP for now, it seems, and he will be facing up against Cadian. RPK already getting decked from the top of the silo, and Vitality still want to commit to this A yard for now. The smoke's down, the cross is there, but Alex is tagged over in the, over towards Secret. Oh, unlucky.
Yeah, he's gonna take that nade to the dome. Just tries to header it. That's his little British bit of heritage shining on through. Loves a game of footy. But certainly you don't want to be playing that with a nade. ZywOo has managed to get across in his secret though, and that could be his little secret. The only issue is MBK, the only other man he can share it with, is a long way away. And he's going to get picked up by Gade as he attempts to take a little peek in towards that A-bomb site. ZywOo in a 1v5. As fantastic as he's been, as amazing as he's been, you're asking so much of one man, especially when you're thinking, coming into this second half, you're right, he ended the first half 22-6. Now you see him 24-12, going 2-6 here in this second half, now 3-6, so maybe there's a chance he can get something done.
No. A nice attempt either way, but these rounds have been very clean from North, and this is so good for a comeback situation for North, right? If you're taking rounds for the skin of your teeth, and then eventually you lose one, especially on that CT side, your money's going to crumble, but North have been keeping 3 or 4 players alive almost every single time, so their cash is looking fantastic. This is going to be a hard nut to crack for Vitality. Seems like they've got a bit of an allergy right now. Another half buy coming through. We've got pistols, a solo rifle, and MBK. It will limit him when it comes to the next round buy, but everyone else can at least pick that up. They are armored. Looking like a fast A crunch as well.
Yeah, we haven't really seen one of these just fast A dedications from Vitality. So this is a good way for them to try and test the waters. They have a bye coming in the next round anyway. MBK here with that one solitary rifle, but Gade, oh, indeed, going to go out and mop up 3, Asian with 2, and that's the round all said and done. North 11-12 there, close to tying this one back up. And I tell you what, you brought up Gade in that one, you know, when he was up in the A bomb site effectively in a 1v2. He had a player down on B, if you recall, just a couple of rounds ago. He did manage to pick that up, and we said maybe that would be a bit of a confidence boost for him. He was sitting down bottom of the board. Well, since then, he has been showing up in spades, has Gade. And he has been able to hold his own up on this A-bomb site. And since then, Vitality, their success does feel like it's dropped off just a little bit. Well, quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't got a T-side round, Harry, since the pistol. So, yeah, far from good for Vitality on this second half. This is not what we expected, considering how good they looked on the CT side and how lost North looked. But we're going back to old school nuke, it seems. Such a strong CT side so far for the Danes. Can they keep it up? And another crucial rifle round, a real game changer this will be, because again, another eco for Vitality if they lose it, and North are going to be able to equal up the scoreline and then take the lead in the anti-eco. Cadian down on ramp with the AWP. We've not seen too much of this so far, but let's see if Vitality can deal with it. That's a nice flick. Strong start again for North. Seems to be the name of the game right now.
Yeah, I mean, Cadian over on that T-side, you know, just wasn't really getting the openers with the ult, wasn't really finding much here on their CT half. He has been the man opening things up. Gade, once again, we just spoke about him. He's here, and he's holding his own from atop the hut. They just cannot get in. This A-bomb site is Gade's, make no mistake about it.
Yeah, he has had a fantastic second half, considering he was bottom of the entire server just 10 rounds ago, and now he's currently sitting very, very high up on the scoreboard in terms of the fragging department. Pretty equal to some of his teammates, so yeah, third place, not too bad from Gade. Nice to see. North finding their footing in a major way, and Vitality just still looking lost. They, you know, they've not had any success on this A site. It's been locked down every single time. I feel like we want to see a little more ramp play. This yard has been a bit of an issue as well. So a wall of smokes outside, a split towards B down through the ramp would be nice, but they've just not seeming to. They've seemingly not been able to get past any of these North players.
No, they most certainly have not. And you know, this is where, if you're Vitality, this is where that crux of having just recently switched Alex into this team maybe could start to shine through a little bit. They're still working to try and develop him individually as a player, try and figure out exactly how everything slots into place within this roster. This round, looking like they were going to try and go back towards a fast A play. Smoke might attempt to hold them back. You see RPK, this time it's him who's been handed that solitary AK, similar to what we saw just a couple of rounds ago when they attempted this exact same thing. Oh no. Yeah, Alex does not want to go back up there anytime soon. He's going to go ahead and just duck on down. 4 players ready to make this push happen. Alex lining up the flash in through the skylights to try and help his teammates out, but it doesn't blind AZ, doesn't blind Gade, and together they're able to go ahead and find all the Vitality players trying to breach into that bomb site. Everybody dies on the side of Vitality, and for North, 4 players staying up means that this money continues to become a massive issue for the Frenchmen to try and overcome. North just have so much cash in those bank accounts, and you know, even though we haven't seen the most out of Cadian yet on the AWP, the fact that he's able to have it in every single one of these rounds, the fact they're able to have all the utility in the world, you think about that round there, you know, they had smokes, they had Molotovs. They're able to deny these fast plays on the back of it.
Oh, another fast play from Vitality here in the yard, but North, they've got the perfect counter to it. 2 players playing by the red box. Alex is going to be able to get himself a frag, but Valdi's doubled down, make that 3, shutting down Vitality left, right, and center. They cannot pass. It's Apex and MBK left in a 2-on-3, but honestly, this is a good situation for Vitality. North are going to be split up, they're spread, they're not able to trade. Vitality, this is their best chance at a round in a while, but Gade, again, a different position up on this A site, and it has just been his site. MBK coming in through the hut, but he's got no teammate to try and refrag that one. Apex eventually gets into position, but Cadian is there, holding down from heaven like a turret. And North, 14 rounds. This has been an unbelievable streak. 10 in a row now for these CTs rather. it's not like Vitality have even been getting reset. They've had plenty of full buys now, Harry. They've had plenty of half buys with 1 or 2 AK-47s and pistols with plenty of utility. That these are rounds you can win, even on Nuke. But, well, apparently no rounds can be won on Nuke by Vitality, at least not on this T side since the pistol. You can see a tactical pause in Apex. Clearly got some words to say. This is definitely going to be where it starts getting in your head if you're Vitality. Or I imagine that was probably about 5 rounds ago, but they're in a very awkward spot when it comes to the money. 3,500 average per player. We've got a couple on 5k, so this should be a buy for Vitality without too much of a problem, but it will be limiting their utility if they want to go for rifles. So, you know, it's far from perfect, and it's not the buy you want to be bringing in up against a 14 round from North.
No, we're certainly not, especially not with you're forcing even into the next round. Isn't going to look all too peachy either. If you lose this, then you're going to be going up against Map Point, which when you consider the 11-4 half from Vitality, Ziowu finishing the half 22-6, it looked like it was the game for Vitality. Now, switching onto the CT side, North really coming into their own, really showing why this was the ace up their sleeve. Ziowu this time around, he's dropped Bal, the clash of the Titans towards that side, and Ziowu comes out on top. That's the top performer for North dropped. And this is the best spot we've seen Vitality in this entire second half.
I'm trying to think, when was the last time Vitality had a man advantage that wasn't traded immediately by North? I don't think they even have. So this is a massive polar opposite to what we've been seeing from Vitality. The smoke down to allow them to cross, but Kiebi's on the left side. He's going to get MBK out of position, caught in the air with a Mac-10, finds the frag. Apex catches Gade moving aggressively into the lobby. The first time he's done that, and the last time he'll do it, I'm sure. It's down to Cadian. He drops the bomb down on B, calling for the cavalry. Rotations may be coming in, but there's only one man left up, and that's in the form of AZ.
Oh, but he's been able to catch Apex, trying to drop down the vents. Cadian playing around the double doors, and they might have just pulled this back. That bomb was dropped by Cadian earlier on. It has to be retrieved. Cadian, do not enter B while Cadian lurks here. We're into the one-on-one, and it's Alex, the new boy in Vitality, to try and deny Map Point the way of the Danes. He backs away from B, but Cadian lurking in the vents. He can rotate up or down. And the second he hears that bomb going down on A, you bet he's going to shoot up that ladder.
Alex has a Molotov though, that can go down towards the vents. It's actually just going to land in front of it a little bit. Denying a push up from any CT, but now Cadian, he has to go for the risk reward. Do I rotate up through vents where I could just get shot by Alex holding, or do I go for the long wrap round that will cost me time? He does exactly that, but swaps out the AWP to the M4. Alex, not wanting to open the door, not wanting to make a noise. Cadian, he's bringing the fast pace back into this site. Such an important round for Vitality to try and pick up, but Cadian, he's already on a 3-piece. That bomb is so ticked. He needs to stick the defuse right now, and Alex is aware of it. The smoke going down, the tap on it. Alex peeks, and Cadian's done it. Plenty of time for the defuse. North are going to find their 15th round, and the clutch taken by the in-game leader of Cadian here. He has had a great map as well on this AWP, no one being able to shut him down. I mean, we've not even seen Ziowu on this AWP here on the T side.
And you know, if you're Vitality, that's the swing round, that's the tipping point. You know, if you weren't out of it already, mentally, you're definitely checked out of this map now. You're sitting in that round. It was what, a 4-on-2 as they start to push it. Actually, a 5-on-2 as they start to push in towards that B bomb. It's like Cadian, I saw him land that first shot and he drops the bomb, and I'm thinking, okay, bit of a mistake to send the bomb in first, but you know, you're still sitting in a 4-on-2. You know, the second he runs towards the doors and he starts playing around, he tries to fake it out, makes the noise, tries to bait the peek in from ramp. You can see, you know, Cadian's brain, it's switched on, that little light bulb appears, and perfect positioning to isolate those fights. This time, once again, Vitality going to kickstart this half with a man advantage.
Kiebi just shot his teammate there, and that not only did a little bit of damage, but actually offset the aim of AZ, it seemed. Getting surprised, and as a result, goes down to Apex. That's such an unfortunate way to lose a pick. Said, we still do have to be somewhat under the control of Vitality. They have these lower tunnels, they have the vents, but 2 players having rotated down. Gates dropped in 2. Vitality still with a bomb in lobby, and actually if you look at Apex, he's sitting in the yard as well, trying to cover any push back in from North. They still have the man advantage on Vitality, and it is covered by Kiebi, making sure that no one else takes this bomb down towards B, but that's exactly where it's going.
Oh, and they've just missed the time. No, never mind. Cadian tries to peek out, but MBK, one shot's all that is required to deal with the beast up in heavens. Valde is still here. And Vitality, they know they can't afford to throw away another round in which they had that man advantage. So MBK surviving by the skin of his teeth, and now that does leave Gade up in this 1-on-4. And that A bomb site, that's been cleared just now, so they don't have to commit to this. They haven't spotted anyone up on A. And yeah, we do see them like to play things safe. Gade now finding that 1 kill. That's enough to send the bomb into the safe embrace of this A bomb site. And Gade in a 1v3. There's plenty of money here for North, so they couldn't justify going for it. Especially with Apex brought down to 2 HP and Gade sitting on this bounty of utility.
Yeah, 100%. There's no reason to save here. They can buy it for the rest of the game till we hit OT or a win. So why not give it a go? At least try and hurt the money of Vitality if you can't win the round. So Gade sneaking up the ladder. Lots of utility here. I mean, he could go in after the time. He could wait till Vitality leave the bomb site and try and jump on that defuse. That is very much a possibility here with 2 players up in main. Smoke, though, giving away his position. He's pushing in. He gets the first kill to RBK, and he might actually be able to stick this bomb if he doesn't get shut down from the hut. It's a spray for Alex. It's a spray. And he finally connects the dots. Very, very close for comfort. That would not be a fun way to lose a map.
No, it would not. Whew, my heart was racing there for Alex through that smoke, trying to land the spray. And I mean, it's like moments like that, you know, pressure really does get to you. But he is able to find it with that. You know, really seconds left to spare in that round, so there's still a hope for Vitality. 13-15. Let's not forget, though, for those of you who are just tuning in, this was 11-4 in favor of Vitality at the end of that first half. Of course, they were over on the CT side. Since moving to their T side, they've managed a measly 2 rounds, one of those being the pistol.
Yeah, and no follow-up after that, right? The instant reset from North, the instant force by working out for them. Exactly, in fact, what Vitality did in their first half to North, who won the pistol on the CT side. Either way, 15-13, pressure really is mounting here for North. They can't afford to let this go to overtime because, again, we know how strong Vitality CT side was earlier on this map. They would love to close it out here, considering how much of a comeback this has been for the Danes. AWP in for Cadian, no AWP for ZywOo. He has definitely had a bit of a slower T side here as well. I don't want to put the blame on him by any means, but you know, it definitely makes you question how much of that first half was just down to ZywOo popping off. And you know, while that's obviously great, you can't always rely on that. Seems like Vitality's strike put for this T side has been a little more lackluster.
Yeah, well, another man who's got a little bit more quiet, you might notice, you know, still fragging well and has been in these last few rounds is Alex, right? But I think, you know, it's kind of coming off the back is over on this T side, you notice he does kind of keep to himself a little bit more, not necessarily with the team as much. Maybe, you know, I think what was working so well for Vitality on that CT side was the buddy system. Like, was Alex setting ZywOo up for some of these plays and vice versa? They were playing off of each other well. This time, they try and hit this in a bomb site, and they're going to get it almost entirely for free. One man here, Gade, already dealt with an AZ. Only good for one. Kjaerbye dropped up in the heavens. Valda and Cadian both kind of slowing down, teetering on the edge of, is this worth it? ZywOo spotted, but they missed the shot. Valda, they've given him a lot of room. Alex misses that peek, and now Cadian left in the clutch once again. He's done it once, but asking for it a second time, that's too much. 14-15. We're going the distance, and we're 1 round away, potentially from an overtime or North clinching this out 16-14.
That's got to hurt if you're North as well, right? If you go to OT now and lose the map after this kind of comeback, it's very, very hard to reset going into that second map. Vitality, on the other hand, they do remember this isn't their map pick, so they're already putting up a very strong fight, and I think overtime at this rate is looking very doable. They found the last 2 rounds in a row. Just need 1 more to fill in the blank. Bit of a slower approach to start things off. They don't chase CR too heavily. North have decided to be pretty passive as well towards it. Kjaerbye just sitting outside of the garage. We've actually got a wrap around from B as well. We'll take a look at Valdi. He's coming in from lower, so with ZywOo alone on that AWP as well, he's got to be very, very cautious. Does have Apex close by, but you can see how hesitant Vitality are to wide peek anything. Gade's even pushed up into the lobby somewhat with his shotgun, so Vitality go for another one of those late A plays and try and split this main. And he's going to be in a great position to do some damage. Smoke's being set up in the T-spawn. These are the cross smokes for outside, and I can imagine we're going to see one of these players at least go towards them. With Vitality bringing the bomb back inside the lobby, it's looking like your standard ramp split down towards B. Apex and ZywOo, the 2 players tasked with opening up a lot of this map. And do remember, Valdi is still here.
Flash rains on in, and that's going to give it a little bit of cover to fall on back. It looks like they're going to try and flank in towards this A bomb site once again, but this time Gade, armed with his auto shotgun up close, leaves ZywOo and MBK 2 on 4 to try and secure overtime. North looking like they could pick this up unless we see an impossible clutch here. And it's just not going to happen. Cadian and Valdet managing to pick up both remaining players. That is going to be this first map going the way of the Danes. 16-14 here on Nuke. A monumental comeback. What an effort from the likes of Valdet, AZ, Kiev. I mean, a team effort across the board, but Valdet really stepping things up in that second half. Looked phenomenal. And I mean, if that doesn't set us up for a great series, I don't know what will. We'll be back with the analyst desk and the second map after the break.
The champions of ESL 1 Cologne.
Do you remember?
Welcome to the Cathedral of Counter-Strike.
Think you've seen it all?
Are you ready to be a part of Counter-Strike history?
ESL 1 returns to Cologne in 2019.
Think you can't capture a clutch in full resolution while streaming the play to the world? Watch this. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Prepare for combat. Go forth and conquer.
I've been there since the beginning. Every map, every frag, every moment. I run, but I never hide. With knowledge comes power, and power is to be wielded wisely. Which is why, as the expert, I bet with Betway. If you know CSGO, then you'll know the best way to bet on esports is with Betway, for the love of the game.
That's right, violence, speed, and momentum in the first half from Vitality, limiting North to only 4 rounds. But as the story unfolds, it all turns around. Everything turns around, and what goes around is all around, because all around me are analysts. And we're going to make some sense of why this one turned back in their favor. We've got Natu and Sponge. We're going to begin to walk you through what was Nuke and how this one did end up a very close affair, but on the backs of a very strong CT side from North.
Yeah, both teams, right? And you mentioned in the green room, it felt like a traditional game of Nuke. Like 11-4 halves is what we used to be playing back in the day in the 1.6 realms. But both teams showed that the cores of the team, the stars of the team, stepping up and just putting up those brick walls. It's not like they were doing anything special. They were just dominating and not allowing these mid-round situations to unfold, especially North on that comeback.
Yeah, no new meta was invented during that game for sure. More like rolling back the years, if anything. But you're right. I mean, it came down to the mid-rounds. I mean, Nuke is sort of one-dimensional in the sense that it is a lot about creating the smoke wall, trying to get a player downstairs, or having 3-4 players go down there and execute towards the lower bomb side. And when that was kind of a showcase of the fact that when you just don't gain a man advantage early enough, or you can't play around the rotations, you can't force someone to make a move to Secret and then maybe hit that upper bomb side, for example, it just doesn't really work out. On the other hand, you look at Vitality in the big picture, there were also some fundamental errors in how they approach situations where they already had built those advantages. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's the case with them obviously being a new team. Those type of teams, things happen even if you have the most experienced players.
Well, it's funny you say fundamentals, because in all reality, it did seem like Vitality had the game in their hands. I mean, you have ZywOo doing everything that ZywOo needs to do out here. I mean, he's rocking an absurd amount of kills going into the second half. But I believe we saw a lot of instances where they made feeling plays, and they kind of came out and tried to capitalize on it at least.
Yeah, I was very impressed with Vitality and their use of utility. And we actually have a clip here we can demonstrate in that CT half, a little alley-oop, a little setup that they're able to do to get information towards that top bomb site. So as this clip unfolds here, you can see the player who's defaulting from North in lobby. He has no other help. A flash is going to come through from Apex, which allows RPK to push and find the kill. Now that forces the trigger of North's strategy to be pulled, and now they go quickly into the outer yard attack, where Alex and ZywOo actually have a fantastic crossfire setup, where Alex gets first contact here after coming out of the flash. ZywOo drops down from the window position, picks up a couple of nice easy kills, and they shut down the round from this point. So their utility usage and the way they played off each other was fantastic. But on the T side, right, they had executes. They definitely had executes. Yeah. They just weren't finding opening kills. There was an 11-round streak of rounds where they lost, and then by the time we get to the end, I think it was 10 of those rounds in a row, they hadn't even found an opening kill. Eventually, they identified that. They were able to find some opening kills to make it more interesting, but the mid-rounds for the French were lacking. Yeah, and when you say, like, it's like I kind of alluded to before there, even though they have experienced players, but they're still a new team, so there's certain protocols that you kind of have as a team. Like, for example, that I think it was 27th or 28th round where they finally managed to create an opening, they have the man advantage, and they go downstairs. Kaden had already rotated downstairs behind the silo up on the little, what do you call it, the railing here. Sure. And he got the first kill. And how does Vitality react to it? They don't do anything. Instead, what we say in the Finnish Counter-Strike world is they peed their pants. They should have instead pushed him, and he at most would have been able to get one kill, and then he would have been traded. And then that map control, they would have gotten into the bomb site and had great positioning for the after-plan situation, but instead they ended up falling like dominoes, basically, one by one. Apex having to then creep into the upper bomb site, gets flanked, so and so. So those are the kind of things that happen to newer lineups, even if you have the most experienced players.
Yeah, and that phrase goes really well in Finnish as well. I'd let you drop it, but I think we got the point. Now, the point I need to make is now we're looking into Dust 2. We're ready to get into the game. We're ready to get this pistol round underway. But, guys, where do we stand on this one really quickly?
I think Vitality's T-sides are a problem right now. We saw it in their earlier